Kevin Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer, and I go around and teach sales organizations and leadership teams on how to build trust and influence with their customers and their team members to generate more revenues and higher profits. Because here's the deal, in high levels of trust in business organizations, speed goes up, costs go down, profits go up. We need to make sure that we're building trust. Now, how does communication come about affecting trust? Well, people that communicate effectively actually build high levels of trust, and they do it fast. But there's right ways and wrong ways to communicate. And here's the deal, 90% of communication, nonverbal. So when we're just sending off an email, guess what's happening? We're not hitting the mark because it's not just about the words. It's the tonality, how we come and approach people, how we interact with people. That's what's going to matter because people are interacting from that. The written word is typically taken negative, which is why when you see an email, you always get upset for the most part. We actually need to communicate effectively if we're going to hit the mark and build trust in our organization. Keep in mind, when we're talking with people and communicating, there's 3 questions that they're asking about us on every interaction. Do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? By communicating effectively, having empathy for the people, and being vulnerable and communicating correctly, we're going to do so. And I teach that in my trustworthy training to help people communicate, show up, engage people correctly. By doing so, we're going to build trust. And communication is important because we need to communicate to everybody what we're trying to do, how we're trying to help people, how we support our customers, and we need to make sure everybody's on that same path and doing the same kind of communication with the customer. Whether it's a salesperson, service, warranty, they all need to have the same kind of message and communicate the same thing. If you look at really successful organizations like Chick-fil-A, they all have the same kind of message at every one of their stores, which is why you know you're going to get the same consistency, which is also why you see people sitting out in lines for 30 minutes just to get a chicken sandwich that they can get just about anywhere. We need to make sure that we're communicating effectively if we're going to build trust in our organizations and with our customers. By doing so and being intentional, we can do so. What we need to do is when we're communicating with people is answer those 3 questions. Do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? We need to be consistently trying to understand people, making sure we're likable, showing up in the right kind of environment. That's right. If it's a high traffic area or high anxiety levels, people aren't going to hear us. They're going to tune us out and they're not going to trust us. So we need to make sure that we're doing so in the right environment. We need to show up in the right color clothing, not just have power ties where people know that we're authoritative, because not everybody trusts and likes authoritative people. And again, the first couple questions, like and trust. We need to make sure we're hitting the mark. Our different scents we wear can actually affect people, and there's tons of studies on that. I got a great education when I went down to St. Thomas and got an education where they started asking me about my personality and my activity levels to pick the right kind of clones for me. That's right. They can actually affect people, and different scents can actually trigger people. So if you want to have a good experience, you want to make sure that you're wearing the right clothes, showing up, communicating well, and not having the wrong scents on. So go into a department store and look at the different environments that you're going to talk to people. Go to a department for women and kids and men's and see how they have the different sights, sounds, and smells on display in those areas because they know how to get people to buy and how to keep them relaxed. They've studied it so they can generate more revenues. We need to be intentional. So when we're showing up, we don't want to just pound our message and tell people how to do things and what we need. We actually need to be intentional to learn about people, what the situations, what their issues and the ramifications are, so we can communicate the right kind of solutions for them. If we do so, we'll actually build trust. So we want to be intentionally learning about those we're interacting with by having good communication skills, the right tonality, matching their pace of speech, not using tons of sarcasm. We're actually going to build levels of trust with people greatly. So be intentional. Make sure you're using your CRM system with those you're going to engage, whether they're your team members or other employees or your customers. Make sure you're learning about them on every interaction. So when you communicate, it's like just relax, it's easy, good conversation, and you'll build trust. Now, if you have any questions about that or the trustworthy training, feel free to reach out. My contact information is below. If you like this video and it's helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send to somebody you think it might benefit. That's why I do these videos, to help you. We'll see you next time.